Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. What a pleasure to be here today. I did bring the weather, I want you to know. They were forecasting snow until I said I was making my trip. First, to the Martin family, thank you so much for doing this today. It's a little different. Do you normally have situations like this? No? I want you to know your front lawn is never going to be the same after today, but I hope it'll be worth it. So let's give the Martin family a round of applause, Ian and Jennifer. Thank you very much. Christopher, you want to stand up and take a bow? Stand up and take a bow, Christopher. You have Andrew and Christopher. Christopher is the younger brother. My family, we were just chatting, there's a Andrew and a Christopher, and the Christopher is the younger brother. And the younger brother, Christopher, is the showman of the family a little bit. That's why he went into journalism on TV. Chris Cuomo, his name is. You'll see him. No other comments on Chris Cuomo. You have great representation with a great assemblyman and a great state senator. I've worked closely with both your assemblyman and your senator. They are a great team. They're personal friends of mine. We had a great record in Albany. Let's give them a round of applause. Dennis Gaberzak and Senator Gallivan. Also, they were mentioned, but I want to mention them once again quickly. Senator George Maziar, Senator Michael Rosenhofer, Senator Tim Kennedy, Assemblyman Sam Hoyt, Assemblyman Mark Schroeder, Assemblyman Kevin Smart. Stand up and let's give them a round of applause. We had a great year in Albany doing the people's work. We really did. And people are trying to figure out exactly why we had such a good year, because some of the past years haven't been as good, let me say that. See, Christopher, that's called nuance and delicacy, the way I just did that. But I think one of the reasons it worked is the people in Albany, your representatives, really remembered why they were there this year. And they're there to serve the people of the state. And we put politics aside. And it wasn't about being Democratic. It wasn't about being Republican. It was about doing the work of the people of this state and put the party politics aside. That's what we did, and the proof is in the pudding. We had a truly productive legislative session. And we got all sorts of good things done that hadn't been done for years. When it comes to energy, we had new energy legislation that will allow us now to site power plants that hadn't been passed in about 8 to 10 years. We reformed the SUNY system, State University of New York, with a new tuition system so people can plan, and there's predictability, what they call rational tuition, when it comes to the state university system, which is a great resource for this state. We passed ethics reform, finally, in Albany, meaningful ethics reform. So we got all sorts of great work done. But in many ways, the crown jewel when it comes to economic policy is, as you heard from the senator and the assemblyman, the property tax cap. Why? The short story is that New York will not have a bright future if we are the tax capital of the nation, period. We have to get taxes down in New York. You will see businesses leave. You will see families leave. You're seeing them leave because of the taxes in New York. And probably the most destructive, the most dangerous of the taxes, in my opinion, is the property tax. We have some of the highest property taxes in the nation. They've gone up over 73% over the past 10 years. And you hear about this all across the state. The old question when you were buying a house was, can I afford the mortgage payment? Now the question is, can you afford the property taxes? And I can't tell you how many people have come up to me and said, you know, Andrew, I just can't afford the property taxes. I have to move. I have to sell the house. And we've been talking about this and talking about this forever, and nothing happened. In the 70s, they started to talk about something called the property tax cap. Just put a cap, put a limit on how much the taxes could go up. That was in the 70s. 1980, the state of Massachusetts passed a property tax cap. The 90s, they proposed it for the state of New York. And every year they talked and they talked and they talked. Well, this year the property tax cap becomes a reality, finally. And we're going to make it a reality for every homeowner in this state. And it is a very simple device. It says that the property taxes can't go up more than 2% per year or the rate of inflation, whichever is less, unless 60% of the people vote to override it in that locality. Why 60%? Why not 50%? We want 60% because I want the odds stacked in favor of the taxpayer finally. And if you're going to raise the taxes and you're going to exceed the cap, make sure the people in the district know it and want it, and that's what the 60% is all about. I think it's going to make a major difference. I know it's going to make a major difference for homeowners. You're now going to hear from local governments, well, if I can only raise taxes 2%, then where do I get more money? The question is, they don't. That's the answer. You don't. The answer can't always be for government, more money, more money, more money. And the message has to be to government, you're going to have to make ends meet, you're going to have to tighten your belt, you're going to have to understand economics just like every business and every family in this state understands it. And the answer for government has been too easy. Just spend more money and raise more taxes, and government could always put their hand in the pocket of the taxpayer to take out more money. It was the ultimate ATM machine, the taxpayer's pocket. So why have any economies of scale? Why find savings? Just raise taxes. Those days are over. And do we believe in government? Yes. Do we need government? Yes. But we need government to be cost-effective and cost-efficient, just like every person who's with us today. And this is going to be the onset of that new reality. We're doing it on the state side. And as you heard, we balanced the budget on the state side, a $10 billion deficit with no new taxes. And we're tightening our belt, and we're finding savings, and we're cutting the waste, and we're cutting the fraud. So we did it on the state side, and now the property tax cap is going to extend that to local governments all across this state. I think it is a major shift in the trajectory of this state. I think it says to our residents, it says to people all across this country, it says to businesses, New York gets it. We're not going to be the tax capital of the nation. We get it. We're going to make the government work. We're going to find the efficiencies. We want you to stay. We want Christopher. We want Andrew to stay. We want the young people to stay. I'm tired of hearing young people, especially in upstate New York, saying they're going to get on a plane and find their future elsewhere. Their future is right here in New York, the Empire State. And we're going to keep them here, and this is a step in the right direction. Thank you for having us. Let's sign the bill.